All right, let's do this. So the golden letters. So many years have gone by of knowing that this little tool that was created, I don't know, I remember first hearing it about from my MAPS coach, Jordan Freed. And then I heard about it from other coaches as well, and rainmakers and teams across the country, across our company, at least, we're doing these golden letters. And so it was just so mysterious. And what is it? And so kind of for today's purposes, here's my agenda. I'm going to share with you that these golden letters, they can be used to market to your database, people that you already know, or to unmets, people that you don't know. And today our purpose is to focus on the unmets, okay? So there's a difference, and know that that's the difference. So the goal of these letters is to attract potential sellers. And the simpler the message, the better. At least that's what we have found on our team. And we got to have a system and enlist some leverage with them. Now, this is a MOFR. You've heard this term before. And the MOFR means that you are making an offer for immediate response. So that's what a golden letter is. You're making an offer for them to respond. That's a call to action. And we know that we want to always be attracting leads into our business. That's the first of the 3 L's: leads, listings, and leverage. And so we also know that every day we need to be growing our database and feeding our database. So this is a way to do that as well. And like all things, you can't overthink it. You just got to do it. And that is why I'm going to share what I've come up with here today for you. So we want to use them for good and not stress about them and not worry about it. So it just needs to have a plan, because once it's in a plan and a checklist and a system, then you're going to be okay working through these letters. On the far left, you will see the golden letters sent to your Met database, people that know you and love you and trust you already. This can be done. And this is a process and a plan. And the message may be a little different because they know you and you know them. This has been talked about extensively in our Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group. James Shaw has even bought the domain, whatsthegoldenletter.com. So for today's purposes, that's on the side. We are not going to even tap into our Met database. Instead, we're going to talk about our unmets. And the script that we have found to be the best to get a response is right to the point. Would you be interested in selling your home to a client of mine? If so, here's a phone number. Thank you. I'm going to get into all the details here in a minute. But I think what's happened is over the years, we as a team had played with different messages. Like, remember when the market was so crazy hot and you'd have 35 offers and sold in a minute, and you would have these crazy stats. And so we were putting that message inside of our golden letter, and it probably just got too wordy. I mean, yeah, we're educating the neighborhood about the value of their home, but we don't want to say that anymore. The market's adjusted a little bit. And so get right to the point with it. So where do I even start? Give me the details. Well, first you got to think about, where do I want to send these letters to, and when should I do it? So for us, it's just determining the location and the number of properties you want to send to. So we want to send to around a recent listing, maybe that's under contract or that you've sold, or in an area that you have buyers who want to buy in that area, but they just can't find an active property. You've exhausted the multiple listing service. Or maybe just in a neighborhood that you like and you want to grow your market share or take some listings. You get to determine what your strategy is. And then you pick the number of letters. If you have a budget, then it needs to be based on that. If you're just starting out, you might start smaller and play with it a little bit. These are unmets. The return is low. So go into this process with expecting to get a very low return on your investment. But there are some pluses, and we'll get into those. So for us as a team, I confirmed with my director of operations, when she pulls 300 properties, but then ends up filtering down by removing out weird addresses or businesses or trusts or LLCs because it doesn't have the person's name, she filters all those out. We end up sending about 200. So she starts with 300, sends to 200. So the way that we do it is we want to send to around our listing when it goes under contract. Now let's think about why I like it doing it that way. This is Jenny's brain, but I want to send a letter that's very generic. Would you sell your home to a client of mine? After we know that there is interest in that neighborhood and in that area or that price range. So if you have a listing that sells in a fairly short period of time and for good money, and there was interest, so you got web leads or phone calls or lots of showings or multiple offers, you know that that is an interesting neighborhood for buyers because you felt the energy and excitement for it. So that's my thinking around why I want to pick a property that we have under contract. You could absolutely wait till it closes, but we just go ahead and start working it early on just because that's our method. So you got to have some tools and technologies. Now, I'm not an expert on all these things. I'm just sharing with you what we use and then what I've heard others could use. So we subscribe to RedX. It is a tool that has data inside of it of properties. And so we use it for the circle prospecting purposes. I think we pay as little as possible to have it. We don't use it to prospect and call for sale by owners and expireds. And I believe that's all in there, but clearly I don't know because that's not our method of lead gen. But we pull the addresses from RedX. Many tax records or MLSs also have addresses that you could pull. And then whenever we pause here, I can hear from some of you guys. Go ahead and put it in the chat if you know other tools that people could use as well. Now, the fun part and why I posted this the other day and how this got us talking about this again was that we've been adding QR codes to things. I mean, dang, this QR code has made such a comeback in the past few years that everybody uses them now. It's super easy to get on your phone and use on your phone. So we just added a QR code to the bottom that just says, if you're curious, so you already know the script at the top, would you be interested in selling your home? If you're curious about a home value report, go here. And it takes them directly to our home value website. We use a company called Brivity Valuations. So we had Brivity Valuations before we even utilized Brivity as a CRM. So I know that anyone can purchase this site, and it's a freestanding, all alone website that is very generic. Want to know the value of your home? Type in your address. So what happens is they come here. I mean, it has a little bit of branding on it, as you guys can see, and but not a lot. And they're going to type in their address and they are going to click Get Report. Next up, it's going to ask them, I don't know, I don't really want to role play this in case it's all messy, but they're going to put it in their address. So no matter what, I get a notification that they have put in their address. So no matter what, we've captured them, whether they realize it or not. The next step is going to say that they need to share their email to get the report emailed to them, and even their phone number. I think they can leave off their phone number. But sometimes people will opt out and they go, never mind, I don't want to deal with that. So we still, though, have captured their physical address, but many times they will go ahead and put in their email to get. So you can see that for us, it is just a tool. Now, there may be other tools. So again, if you have an idea of ways that other home valuation sites could be, you could capture people's data. I was even thinking, maybe you just had the QR code go to a Google form, and the Google form is really simple. Like, thank you for submitting your request for a home value report. Please add your name and your address and your email, and I'll send that on over to you. That would be a way. The goal is to capture their data. So so we're going to make a letter, and I needed a refresher on mail merge. It'd been a while. So instead of us figuring it out all ourselves, we just go to those who have already done this before us. So mail merge is something in the way that our friend Laura Hyatt shares with us in this video that she shared with Jordan years ago, is using Google Sheets. So just paper, Google Sheets that then will fill into a Google document. So that is the method. Everybody wave hi to Laura. Say thank you, Laura, for sharing this with us. I won't play the video now, but when you guys get this presentation later, then you can have that video on how you mail merge, because that's the kicker inside of this is the merge. So whenever you're making your golden letters, I'm like going super elementary level here. You need paper. This is the Office Depot run, right? You need the paper and the envelopes and the stamps, and we use blue ink because we are going to physically write the address on the front and sign our name on the inside. You are not handwriting the whole letter. So what's the system? You got to just decide when you're going to start this and apply the tasks. So the names and addresses are pulled already for our team whenever we have a new listing, because it's a part of our checklist that our agents are going to do a slide broadcast. Oops, I got excited. I was trying to highlight. Come back. I got excited. I was trying to highlight that for you. So we do a slide broadcast, like a slide dial. It's another tool that you could purchase. And so whenever our agents have a new listing, then they call the neighborhood. So Red X has phone numbers. So they call with a just listed script. So here's an example for you guys if you want to make this a part of your process as well. Hey, it's Jenny with the Wallet Group. The sellers have hired us to sell their home. We just listed it. Here's the info. We thought you might want to know about the property. La da 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 da. So we already are pulling the list at the time of listing. Then when it goes pending, then our admin has a task to start printing the letters. It will have, time to print the golden letters. So she knows to go to that folder and pull the list that were already pulled and then start mail merging and getting the letters printed out. So this is where it gets really important for us, at least, is have a plan about when you're going to put them in the mail, because we found that that really mattered. We want them to hit the mailbox to get into their mailbox, not on the weekend. Because if you notice that, well, you won't notice because you don't know, but the phone number we have on there is our admin office phone number, because we want them calling the office because we want to capture their info. And sometimes agents aren't great at that. So we want the phone number, the calls to go to our office. So we have learned from experience that getting them in the mailbox, our mailbox, Thursday or Friday, gets them there. And then the calls typically come in on Monday. And then whenever we get the phone call, we ask them, hey, thanks so much for calling. Just if you can provide your name and your address, and then I'll have the appropriate agent get right back with you. So that is how we play that. And now what? Okay, so you've learned all those things. Now you just got to get to work. So you're going to print them out. We have the paper just already pre-filled with some letterhead. I'll show you a picture here in a sec. And you just sign your name. You don't have to put anything fancy. Trifold. I'm going like seriously, like elementary level here. You trifold and stuff the envelope, and do not put in a business card. No other fluffy words or butterflies or hearts or anything. Simple, sign and put it in the envelope. You handwrite the address, and you do not include a return address. We want to pique their interest and go, who the heck has sent me this letter? Because when it's handwritten and no return, they're going to open it 100%. Well, I don't know if that's for sure. I just made that up, but maybe. And we also want to add the stamp in the top right corner. And I share that because we recently had a younger team member who did not know that. So yeah, this is a system. We need to include all of the information. And another hack is to use a glue stick. If you guys have never done that before, do you remember Seinfeld? Do you remember Susan? Yes, that same young person licked lots of envelopes, and we made the joke of, you need to be careful. You could die from that. And that young person didn't know what the heck we were talking about, but my OPs know what I'm talking about. And then you put them in the mail, and then you send them off with really good juju. So Jennifer on our team is great at this. She always tells us that she's sending off, good vibes with all of the letters that she's signing. Now, I know that I'm crunching all this out, but I want to get this out and then we'll mastermind around it. So what do I say when they call? Because a lot of us might have some limiting beliefs around this. Well, have some kind of a script ready and have some confidence. You could even practice and role play it. But I think it's just a pretty simple script. They're calling you because they got a letter. So this is the script I just put down in writing. We have a mini version inside of our team. So, hey, it's Jenny. Thanks for calling. Sounds like you received our letter. Is that true? Yes, yes. You're going to start building rapport and you're going to ask questions. So, you may have noticed that the active inventory in Tulsa is very low still. And this means that many of our buyers are having a tough time finding homes to buy. Let me just gather a little bit of information from you. You want to make sure you've got all their data. You can even go into, so tell me a little bit about your house. And they start telling you about how great it is and the bedrooms and the bathrooms. And then we want to get into motivation. So why did you call us? What are you thinking about making a move? Tell me a bit more about your home and your needs and all of that. And if our buyers were a match, what's the best timeline for you? Are you able to move? We are getting to their true motivations. And if they're really a seller, they're just curious. So thanks so much. And I'll get back with you. We'll talk with our buyers and our team and see if they may be a match and what the next steps may be. Here's just a seller lead sheet just for you guys to have. Now, what if they just want a home value? We just had one of these come in. So she had obviously clicked on the home value report. We had a follow-up email that went out to her checking in to confirm that she got it and see if she had any questions or needed anything. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't really want anything. I was just curious." And I replied, "Absolutely no problem. All good. There you go. Like, you've got the report." And then guess what though? She's going to stay in our database. We're going to still touch base every now and then, because if somebody was curious about the value of her home, there could be a reason. And we're not pushy or mean. We're just adding value and adding people to our database. So just always having some kind of follow-up plan. I really encourage you to have help when it comes to the golden letters. If you're a solo agent, you can still have help. Maybe you have older children or family members or friends. You could sit around and laugh and have a good time while you're addressing envelopes together, or you could even hire some part-time help for a very affordable rate. But as I wrap up here, this is the check, the commission check that we just got to close on because of a golden letter. Now that is 2 times our average sales price. This property was a golden letter. He called, it was very nice. He did have interest in selling. We listed it, it sold. And that clearly pays for the efforts of doing these golden letters around your listings. And you're also building your database, which is the goal. So here is, voila, here's the letter. I posted this in our group and it's just very simple. It's got our letterhead at the bottom. So we do look professional, and yet it's not over the top and asking lots of questions and getting really wordy. It is exactly the script that I shared with you from the beginning. So there is your model of how you do it. And done is better than not doing. I just made that up this morning. You're welcome. And like all things in your business, when you do it more than once, it needs to be a system. So now you have a documented plan, and go do it.